educated. There are a lot of other differences between them and us. And I spent time with question and answer. Everyone was good about being short in their remarks, so I'm going to try to do the same. I want to just finish. I got 5 minutes. Finish in shorter time than that. Well, Lee talked about the difference between the Sunnis and the Shias. I think it's very, very important as we focus on the issue of Iran to understand how dangerous Iran is. As a Shiite country, as a country that is led, unlike most of the Sunni world, which is a pretty decentralized theology. In Iran, you have clerics, and you have hierarchies, you have mullahs, and you have grand ayatollahs, you have a priesthood, if you will, and a hierarchy of priesthood, which you really do not have in the Sunni world. That is good in many respects for enforcing doctrine, but it's also dangerous when the persons who are the head of that theocracy have power over enforcing secular behavior, including the development of weapons and the use of those weapons, particularly given this theology. This theology, which is a minority theology. These folks, as Wally said, it's a very small group of people. It's about 15% of the Muslim world. They've been sort of the backwater of the Muslim world, the oppressed in the Muslim world. And they have been battling unsuccessfully from the beginning of Islam with the majority majority Sunnis. They've had a frustrating history. In Iran, in Iraq, their most vaunted day is Ashrari, where I think it's celebrating the death of the third Imam, is that right? The third Imam who was killed by the Sunnis, as were all the other Imams, the original leaders of the Shiite world. The first Imam was the son-in-law of Muhammad, Ali. And they had a line of Imams afterward, all of which, after Ali, were killed by the Sunnis in an attempt to get rid of these different folks, the Shiites. Until the 11th Imam was killed, and according to the Sunnis, that was the end of things. There was no more. There was no 12th Imam. Well, according to the Shiites, there was a 12th Imam. He was a little boy at the time of the death of the 11th Imam in 874. And this 12th Imam, for fear of his life when he was 5 years old, went into hiding. Ruled from a well in Jamkara, which is outside of Tehran. Ruled through some interlocutors until he announced that he was going to go into what's called an occultation. Sort of disappear for a while. But he will return. And the Shiites believe this. If you listen to Mahmoud Ahmadinejad at the UN, he talked about the return of the 12th Imam, the hidden Imam. All the speeches he refers to him. Why is this important? Because this is an end of times kind of scenario. These are people who are focused on this Mahdi, the 12th Imam, returning at the end of times to lead them to the ultimate victory over the Sunnis and the rest of the world for the sake of Shia Islam. And when you have people who have a very hardened eschatological view of things, that weave in things like Armageddon, giving those people or letting them have nuclear weapons provides a very different point of view than having a bunch of Soviets. I was never worried about the Soviets doing anything really stupid, because the Soviets were atheists and they knew that if they messed up, they'd all be dead, and that was the end of things for them. So they didn't want to die, right? Always trust an atheist to do some rational things when it comes to their life, okay? The folks in Iran are not atheists. They believe that the best way to assure themselves of being in heaven with Allah and this posse of virgins is to destroy the infidel. This is a very dangerous group of people to have a nuclear weapon. So again, our president doesn't tell you this. Nobody tells you this. Why? Because we don't want to offend anyone. We're going to offend ourselves into a much bigger problem if we don't get to it. Thank you, and look forward to your questions.